Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. Starting off on this 4-hour time frame, because right now Bitcoin is testing the 0.618 Fibonacci level, sitting at 64.9k. And this right here is also called the golden pocket for these Fibonacci levels. So as I mentioned in yesterday's video, if we break through this Fibonacci level, that would be very bullish, so breaking above this 0.65 level right here. However, if we see a rejection from this 0.618 Fibonacci level, you need to look at the next Fibonacci level below it. And we got a perfect bounce from this 0.5 Fibonacci level so far after getting that rejection from the 0.618 Fibonacci level. So what is going to happen next here for the Bitcoin price? Well, you need to be paying attention to this 0.618 level. And in the case that we see another rejection, then again, you need to look lower to this 0.5 Fibonacci level to see if this is going to hold. And currently this 0.5 level is sitting at 62.6k, roughly speaking. So these are the two most important Fibonacci levels that I am paying attention to personally. And taking a look at the short-term support and resistance levels for Bitcoin, right here you can see that we got a perfect rejection from this big level of resistance, sitting from 65k all the way up to 66,000 US dollars. So again, if you see a break through that 66k level, that would be bullish, and we would be looking at the next big level of resistance above that, which is sitting from 68.5k all the way up to 70,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Although there is another level to pay attention to that is in between here, which I will get to in just a second. But first, let me cover these support levels that are below the current price. Because if you see this rejection kind of continue here, then the next short-term level of support below that price is sitting at 63.6k. And if this level does not hold, so you get confirmed candle closes below this level, well, the next big level of support is right here from 62.4k all the way down to 60,000 US dollars once again. And so far we got a first little bounce from there. However, we need to pay attention to what is happening between this big level of resistance and this big level of support right here. Especially considering that right now, if you take a look at the 4-hour RSI momentum indicator, we have been in overbought territory for some time at this point. And typically what you need to see when the RSI is in overbought territory like this is that it needs to reset back down back to around this 50 level. Although we have been in a very, very strong downtrend for quite some time. So right now we are just seeing a very strong rebound from that long downtrend, and therefore it would not be surprising to me whatsoever if we actually stay in overbought territory, or at least in this upper range here, for a little bit longer than expected. But then again, as I was saying before, most common when we reach overbought territory is actually that we just reset back down to around this 50 level here. So that is important to pay attention to. We are in a strong uptrend right now, but you have to consider that we are facing very strong resistance from those Fibonacci levels. We have this big level of resistance right here as well. And we are in overbought territory. So there are just some signals indicating that potentially the momentum could be slowing down here sometime soon. But at the same time, breaking through those resistance levels, there's a whole new window that kind of opens up here for the price to move higher again. But what comes up must come down whenever we are talking about the RSI. So that is definitely something that I am keeping an eye on personally. So now taking a look at this descending channel on the 1-day time frame, where recently we finally broke this downtrend and have just seen nothing but extreme moves to the upside after that. And of course, as you know, if you have been following my videos recently, I was one of the only crypto YouTubers that actually flipped bullish at the exact lows right here at 53k, when everyone was screaming that we are going to 40k, we are going to 30k. I was saying, guys, we held this as a level of support, and therefore so long as we hold this as a level of support on the 1-day time frame, to me this just looks like a consolidation pattern for Bitcoin, where it is normal that we can go to the bottom of the range And it is also normal to go to the top of the range. It wouldn't look crazy from this technical analysis perspective. And not even 2 weeks later, here we are. 20% to the upside on Bitcoin alone. Imagine what these altcoins have been doing recently. So obviously the Roach 1 million community has been winning like crazy these last couple weeks. So I recommend you come join the Discord community because this is where it all happens, guys. And you can join it completely for free with the first link in the video description. So going back to this Bitcoin analysis, one thing that is very good to see is this daily candle close above this previous high right here, because we are basically saying this is no longer a downtrend where we get a bit of a cool off period for maybe 1 or 2 days or something like that. It wouldn't be strange to see that considering how much we just pumped. I'm not saying this has to happen, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be strange. But then we make a higher low, so a low above this previous low right here, and then bounce off from there. Now again, because we are now getting close to the top of the range once again, similar to what I was saying here, when I flipped bearish at 70,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price, when we broke back inside the range here, where I was saying, guys, we are now breaking back inside the range, and it is entirely possible that we go to the bottom of the range once again, which we then did. And now that we are getting close to the top of this range once again, we have to be open to the idea that if this pump really continues up to this price, let's say up to 68.4K, that if this does not break out of the top of the range here, this could just be another rejection back down all the way to the bottom of the range. Okay, so do not get excited just yet because Bitcoin is still just in this consolidation pattern. And so long as we are inside this range, we can go to the top of the range and we can go to the bottom of the range, and it is not strange to see that. So I thought it would be a good time to start mentioning that, considering how close we are now to the top of this range once again. And we got a very nice pump to the upside. So I am very happy with this trade right here. Now, besides that, you can see that Bitcoin has been sweeping a lot of liquidity to the upside. We're talking about billions of dollars worth of liquidity. And there's now a lot of liquidity piling up to the downside as well, sitting as low as 56.3K. So this is something that is noteworthy to pay attention to as well. And coming back to this Bitcoin CME futures chart, actually, this is also another potential warning signal for the Bitcoin price, because typically over 90% of CME gaps tend to get filled. They don't fully have to get filled, but the price usually comes somewhere close to the market close from last Friday. Now, if on Monday the price opens already very close to this last candle right here, then you don't have a CME gap because it just fills it right away. And then, whatever happens, happens. But in this case, we have a gap because there was a pump during the weekend. So is it possible that we see Bitcoin moving all the way back down to 57.7K or so? I will let you be the judge of that, but over 90% of CME gaps get filled. And yeah, maybe guys, this is a 1 out of 10 time that it doesn't, but the odds are against that happening. Now moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. On Monday, we saw a massive $300 million inflow from the Bitcoin ETFs. All of them are buying, extremely bullish. I remember on my channel here some time ago, let me see where it is, BlackRock flipped bullish. This was 6 days ago, where we saw that big inflow from BlackRock. And to me, this just looked like a very bullish signal. And after that, we have been seeing massive inflows into these Bitcoin ETFs, pumping the price much higher, like I was talking about in my videos. So this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you again tomorrow in the next one.